Hello. I was looking at my YouTube channel and I found the video that I made about anger. And I watched it. And go off, girlie, is what I want to say to myself. There was also some things that I think I could see myself struggling to be able to like verbalize. Because in that moment, I was angry. I was angry and I was frustrated and I was like dealing with feelings of not feeling heard or understood. And I think I'm in a better place of like understanding anger, and I've been kind of proud of the way that I've been handling it lately. And I think the thing that I was missing in that conversation was, I guess, the processing of anger and understanding that there's times that, because I think in the way that I've seen a lot of anger dealt with is that if it comes up, you need to like let it go immediately. Like if you feel anger, you need to almost dissociate yourself from being angry about a situation. Like you need to rationalize it away, or you need to understand that you have no right to be angry about this. Either have like over empathize with whatever you're angry with, like divert it in that way, or shame yourself out of anger, or bottle it up, or just completely detach from it. Those are the way that I've seen a lot of people interact with anger lately. And I think it's not it. I stand by it. It's not it. That's stupid. I believe it's dumb. I believe, okay, no, that's me being petty and shit. But yeah, that's me being like petty and egoic. But it's unhelpful. It's unhelpful. And like I said in the last video, it contributes to this idea of this cycle of anger's bad, because a lot of the expressions and the way that we see people handle anger lead to bad situations. Like we see people with anger that manifests as violence or hatred or destruction. But violence, hatred, and destruction are not anger. People can act in those things out of a place of anger, but that doesn't make anger responsible. Like in the sense that that person is responsible for those actions, not the emotion. You can't claim emotions' ownership of actions, because emotions, also another thing that I said in the videos, emotions won't ever lead you to do the right or the wrong thing. Emotions won't ever like lead you to do something just or something unjust. Like emotions by nature are chaotic and unlawful, and they do not follow the laws of like, they're not pragmatic, they're not logical, they're not from A to B. They are from A to Z to 3 to 7 to 9 to B to C to A, to the clouds, to the grass, to me, to you, to whatever. You know, they're in every roundabout way, they're nonsensical. And they have to be, because they're emotions. And that's why they're like one of the biggest pillars of teaching in life, because my brain's just splitting it into like masculine and feminine. Like there are going to be things that are logical and rational, and a lot of life can make sense. And life often feels easier if it makes sense. But like what good is everything being easy and making sense if we never face struggle or contrast or confusion? That's when we have to reconsider things that are different. We have to see different values of life and emotions. Anger. Wow, what was that? I don't love that I heard a weird sound from outside of my house. Oh well. Yeah, emotions are like directly contrast the logical nature or the pragmatic nature of life, of what life we see. And that's why they can be some of the greatest like feedback teachers about like of the human experience. Because yeah, I guess that was the other thing that I was touching on that video, is that this is, I guess, just like an update of my like understandings of, oh no, I don't like the sound that I'm hearing from outside my house. I think it's fine. Yeah, what I've come to understand in like, what has it been, 6 months, And what I'm probably going to have to keep on understanding in different layers, and I'm probably going to be wrong, and I'm probably going to be confusing to my future 6-month self. Who knows? But what was I saying before I got scared? Greatest teachers of life. Oh yeah, human experience. Because that's, I guess, also something that I've felt is, maybe it's not a core value, but it's one of the core understandings that I seem to be like settling into more and more in life, is that, I don't know, I'm a spiritual person, therefore I run in, like, I don't actually run, but like I dip my toes and cross paths with people who also have their own individual spiritual experiences. And some of those people, from my perspective, also maybe I don't know these people very well, but from the outside, and from the conversations that I have with them, and maybe this is their soul incarnation, who knows, maybe this is a rule for me, and like maybe it doesn't have to be a rule for them, but if you're here on this planet, you're here to have a human experience. No matter what you want to like understand or believe, part of your soul, like part of your soul's purpose, maybe not your entire path, but part of your soul's purpose in its choice to come here and live this life and live on this earth is to have and embody human experiences. And the way that we interpret experiences and the way that we make sense of everything is with an interaction of emotion. Emotions are the feedback that makes us, it gives us the capacity to create meaning with the world, and meaning informs our belief and values, and it's something that is just so interlaced, and it is part of the, what's that word? Intertextuality. But context, it's a foundational building block of what we understand of life, how we determine value, meaning, what we see. Like if we all are just like projecting out into the world, emotions play a humongous part in those projections. And if you're going to deny yourself part of like the feedback, like if you're going to have all of these channels of feedback and then you're just going to turn away one of them, like anger or sadness, depression, like whatever it is, you're missing out on vital feedback from your own self, from your own experience. And it's also going to distort your experience of other people's like little things, video games, whatever. But again, also, you know, like maybe some people will spend their entire life trying to like, you know, make sense of the human experience. I feel like that's probably going to be my life. Like I don't, you know, I feel like I'm probably going to spend all of my life trying to make sense of what it is to be human. Like I'm so scared to try like really deep psychedelics. I'm not really scared, but I go by the whole thing of like, I'll take them if they come to me, but I'm not chasing them, because there's so much to try and make sense of in the world of like being a human, because we've gotten it wrong. Like we started to evolve and like the industrial revolution, all that, like even pre that, like, you know, we've really fucked up humanity for quite a while, and I feel like we're all trying to get back to the roots of it now, that there's so much that we do not know at all, that I don't think it's, I guess, my personal job to be going anywhere space alien, you know? But it is my belief within that if you're going to go to space alien, you need to have a bit of a better idea about where you're coming from, or your rocket ship's not going to go very far. Or you're going to like send your rocket ship flying and it's going to fucking explode. And we all are unfortunately tied to our bodies and our brains. We can develop the understanding that like we are not our bodies and we are not our brains and we are higher than that, but like unfortunately, even if you are the most spiritual being ever, if you go to a store and steal something and get caught, you're gonna go to jail because you're in a body and it's strapped to this earth. You know, it's just this like dance of balance of like reality and what we like to think and like believe and hope and dream and philosophize about. Anyway, anger. human experience. The thing that I was missing in my last video, I think, was the processing of anger, because what I was trying to explain was that I don't think it's right that we see a lot of people that feel it and then just cut it off. And it's not always safe to express anger, because like if you don't know how to handle it, if you don't know how to hold it, your innate thing that we just see people do is yell. Like you want to express it in a very hurtful and harmful way, because when you feel it, you usually feel wronged by something. So your expression of it will feel wronged. Like you will be expressing energy of wronged, pain, hurt. And if you unleash that onto another person, it is going to create a cycle of pain. And that is tricky. That's difficult. When you look at it like that, it's like, oh yeah, that's a bad thing. But this is why I think it's like, it's so interesting to look into it, and it's so interesting to start giving this process weight, because it's such a challenge and it's such an interesting teacher. If you have to like have this humongously powerful thing, like as I was saying in my last video, it can be the thing that drives, it's the thing that shifts movements. It's the thing that drives a lot of change. Like it's why Pluto is so powerful, because there's this depth of destruction that can be channeled by anger. Like it's dark, but it's powerful, and it's big, and it's beautiful, and it's, maybe it is so big because we need depth to be able to hold its entirety, is what I'm thinking. Like it's, yeah, you can't really like just feel it with a faint heart, because you will be irresponsible with it if you don't think into it. If you don't have responsibility for yourself when you're in anger, you will be harmful to people. You will be harmful to yourself. And maybe that's why it's so intimidating. And as I'm talking about this, the more that I'm just like understanding that I really value it. Wow. I really am interested by this. Because the way that we can, I guess I should get to my point, is that the way that we can channel anger, you can do physical exercise. You can channel it, like, I guess the word that I'm using for is transmute it. Because if you're going to take it, if you're going to be angry, and then if you're just going to like throw it back, like just slingshot it, no processing, no sitting with it, no actually feeling with it or being with it, you're just going to slingshot it out, it will be harmful. It will be chaotic. It will be hurtful. If you then just sit in it too much and you hold on to it, it will be corrosive. It will eat at you. It'll start twisting and turning your soul and your sense of being. Like you'll start shadowing your perspective. It'll start implicating your judgment of the world. And that's not good either. It's like you're turning this very like wrestling thing of emotion and energy, which emotions should always be moving. They should always be flowing. If you try to hold on to any emotion, it's not going to be happy. But like, yeah, anger will turn into something destructive. Same with sadness. Like happiness, if you hold on for too long, it can turn into delusion. Excitement, if you turn on to like too long enough, it could maybe turn into like worry or caution, or like, I don't know. This is all just me talking off the top of my head. Also, I don't know shit about shit. That's just me thinking. But you know, if you go through to those two channels, which is all we kind of really know if we're considering our knowledge and like just general discourse around anger, those two things obviously look like shit. But if you transmute it into like physical energy, going on runs, or like cleaning your entire house, like if you're able to transmute into something physical, that can be huge and that can be powerful. But if you're able to transmute it into something creative, like if you're able to channel it into a piece of work, if you're able to channel it into a passion, like something that is, if you're able to channel it into like some kind of like intellectual visceral response, but like I was saying, kind of like that creates change, like that shifts you to consider something in like a radical way out of almost desperation, like anger and desperation of this is not right. So it pushes this, like it transforms something. It can, if you find a way to be able to like be with it, not hold it, not just like have it in you and like have this bubble around it and just be like, I'm angry, and you don't know how to interact with it. Don't just let it be in your body. Let it like feel it. Just feel it. Like go into it. Understand why you're angry. Understand yourself. See yourself. Like be angry. Like all of those feelings of like, you can have like these deep rooted like perspectives around like nobody understands me or nobody sees me or nobody knows what I'm going through. It's like those can often a lot of times be those responses that we have to ourselves when we self-abandon our own emotions. So if you have an emotion as intense as anger, know it, understand it, see it, be with it, and it will show you something. It'll show you that you're passionate about something enough to create something or to change something or to move something or to cut something out or to create something for yourself or inspire you to move something. Like it can be humongous, like fuel. It just takes courage to be able to like trust yourself and trust the emotion and like trust the data and trust the potency and the potential of what could come and of what this gift essentially is trying to give you. Because like if you think about it, like how fucking cool is it that we get to feel shit, you know? You hear about like when people like talk about like souls, or people like make up little stories of like why souls come to the earth, and you hear about a lot of people that like you hear about those like theories just like you come to the earth to like experience like what it is to have heartbreak and like love and happiness and like anger. It's like in the emotional experience of a human being is something that is so profound and like magical, and anger is a part of that. You just need to stop being afraid of it. Trust yourself that you're not some shitty person that is going to go like feel anger and do something fucked. Like I know that we can be though, and we all have the capacity to be that way. Again, if you've watched any of my recent videos, we can be that way. We can, if we don't sit in anger, if we don't see it, if we don't understand it, if we don't acknowledge it, if we don't acknowledge our pain or our hurt or our anger, if we're not responsible for it, it will be pain. It will cause shit. But if we can understand how to transmute it and how to respect it and how to like acknowledge its place and its purpose and its like worth, I think that would just be so much better. Because when has suppressing or shunning or shaming anything ever gone well in history? Like ever. Like ever. Never. It's never gone well. Never. I think that's something we can all collectively understand, is that shaming, suppressing anything never ends well. No matter if it's right, no matter if it's like righteous, no matter if it's justice, like shame when applied, suppression when applied, it never goes well. Maybe it does for like a little bit, but it always comes back to bite you in the ass. Always. And so I guess that's just something that I want to update, because I was caught up in anger in that video. I was caught up in just hearing somebody speak in this way that was just like, fuck, we're at such odds with something that is like, it helps me, it's helped me realize that I really care about this. Like something that I'm passionate about is that like, I want to demystify and like remove the shame around anger. So thank you, I guess, to that person for like letting me know that I really give a shit about this and that it's a pretty big value of mine for just like emotions to be recognized and respected. But yeah, I don't think I had sat with my anger for long enough to understand what it was trying to teach me. Annabelle. But I am, more and more. I'm learning from it. Well, it feels like every day. And I wish we all could. I wish we all could be a little bit more courageous. I wish we all could be a little less scared. I wish we could all trust ourselves a bit more. But that's going to take time, and it's going to take mistakes, and it's going to take owning up to mistakes, and it's going to take forgiveness, and it's going to take understanding, and it's going to take depth and growth and transformation and all these really difficult things. But I still have hope, and I still know that at least I am capable. It may not be perfect, but I know that I'm capable, and if I can do it, that means another person can do it. And that's just what it is. Macrocosm, baby. That's what it is, and that's what I believe in. But yeah, I guess transmutation is the thing that actually turns emotions into fuel and into power and into more than just a reaction and more than just something that overtakes your body and makes you illogical. But in order to transmute it, you actually have to hold on to it. You actually have to be with it. In order for it to turn anything into something, you have to actually have a grasp of it. In order to let go of anything, like even if the anger is something that maybe you don't need to transmute, even if it is something that you maybe just need to let go, you still need to have a hold onto it. Otherwise, you're just gonna be fucking grasping at straws and making stories up, and then like feeding yourself false narratives and false ideas about what you're doing. I know I've done it. I'm not speaking from a place of non-experience. But yeah, I guess it's just, now that I'm realizing, now that I'm talking about it more and more, I really care about this. I really care about this. Maybe I'll do something with it someday. Who knows? But yeah, just an update. Update on my thoughts about anger and how fucking important it is and how we don't need to be scared of it. And yeah, how it's like also don't attribute the things that people do out of anger to like anger's responsibility. Or like anger being responsible for it. We don't allow people to like blame our emotions on anything else. So it's like you can't, you know what I mean? Like if somebody does something out of like anything else, we don't often let people getting away, like we don't let people get away with blaming their emotions for anything. So it's like, why do we blame anger for things? Essentially is what I'm trying to say. It's not anger's fault. It's not anger's fault. It's usually just the person. It's still the person's responsibility. It's still the person's choice. It doesn't matter if they were angry. It doesn't matter if they were happy, excited, sad, nervous, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. It's still the person's choice. If the person allowed emotions to lead them, that's them. That's their lack of emotional intelligence, and that's their lack of breadth of being able to hold emotions. And I guess that was one of the things that was in that video, which was that like this belief that if you're angry, you can't be standing in love, which I don't know, for me it conflicts. That statement doesn't ring true, because love isn't an emotion, and like love isn't love, or like, I don't know, I'm kind of like, as much as love is a powerful thing, I lean more towards authenticity, like truth, honesty, integrity. I lean more towards that, which I think is what love is at the end of the day. Like I think love can also be that, but I don't know, it's also what you want to discuss love as. But it was something that like this initial conversation that all of this was sparked from was told to me, and I was like, I don't think that's true. Because right now, I've let go of a lot of it, but it's mostly just like standing as like disappointment. But I've been able to like recently be very angry and be very disappointed and be very like, oof, but be surprised with like the amount of compassion and like integrity I can still feel myself and my body being in while feeling that. And so I've experienced that, and I was just reflecting on it when I was watching the video, and I was like, I'm happy that I can call bullshit on that, because I can do it. And if I can do it, others can do it. And if I can do it, that means it's true. So suck eggs. Essentially. If you think you can't stand in authenticity or love and be angry at the same time, you can. It's difficult, but you can. That's the thing. Anger is, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, it's complex, it's difficult, it's hard, it's tricky. You can't give up on it. Otherwise you will fall and you will see the shadow of it. But that's ultimately on you. Sorry. I have to be a bit playful. It's a very serious thing. But yeah, hope this made sense. Hope this maybe inspires you to like challenge your anger a bit, in the sense of challenge your ideas around anger. And like maybe bolster you to just like trust yourself a bit more and take a little bit more time with yourself when you're angry. And try to give it some grace and try to give it the same amount of respect and look to it with the same amount of wisdom that you would look towards sadness or happiness or whatever. It's just as good. It's just as worthy, rather. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, and arms. We're not going to pick them apart, Annabelle. You're a person and you're aging. All right, I'm done.